Hey, survivors, we're going to talk about self-esteem and what happens in these relationships, why we start having a hard time, why this cycle of abuse continues, and what it does to us. So I know sometimes it's hard to understand where our self-esteem started failing, and we want to get back to feeling good. We felt really good in the relationship. We had a trust between us and our partner. It could be other type of situations such as parents or coworkers, things like that. But it just starts turning toxic. And what happens? So the narcissist is all about themselves. They start getting frustrated with anything. It could be life. It could be sometimes you. It could be over abundance of stimulation, whether there's clutter or whether the children are acting out or extra responsibilities that they have to do that they don't kind of want to do. And so they start reacting certain ways, and you're the closest punching bag, so they take it out on you. They also want to be accepted so much that they lie. So in this transition, we start seeing some of those red flags. They start to come to light over time. It's going to happen with the new supply too. It's inevitable. It's the way the narcissist has such low self-esteem. So in the beginning, there's like a superficial relationship and things are going along great for both of you. You're enjoying things, but then issues come up, and the narcissist doesn't like issues. They want this perfect life. So over time, they start depleting our self-esteem because we think it's going great and we can just work through it. We're willing to compromise. Just communicate with me, we can figure out a solution. But because they don't communicate correctly, they do the silent treatment, they do like projection, all these different kinds of things. And during this time, we see things differently. So we're trying to get back to that love bombing stage. We think it's possible. It's happened before. Why can't it happen again? And we're over trying, to be honest, that we need to pull back. But once you're in like a concrete relationship, like a long-term relationship, cohabitation, marriage, parent-child type thing, that or a job you're committed to till you retire or for a long time, that the compromising isn't working and we don't like the way we're being treated. So we don't stand up, because when we do, it causes problems. But we need to stand up, and we're starting to get angry at the situation, but we're also getting angry at ourselves that we don't know how to handle it because it's not making a difference. And it's not our fault that we don't know how to handle it. We don't have the right pieces to the puzzle to figure it out. We've tried everything and it starts hurting us, and it starts changing to where we've given and given, that now since we're hurting so bad, so confused, and it's starting to damage our brain how much thought we've put into this. It's starting to affect our lives, whether our thoughts are overtaking our ability to function properly, that we're kind of in a sense mad at ourselves that we're mad at our person because they're not compromising with us. But we start lowering ourselves and trying to change ourselves. Now, do I need to lose weight? Do I need to work out? Do I need to get a higher paying job? Is my car not good enough to impress this person? Do I need a bigger social group of friends so I seem more popular? Things like that, to where we just want to live our lives too. And as we're going through all this, when we're trying to figure out what is wrong, am I a little overweight, or whatever your situation might be, do I need to wear more makeup or less makeup? And we're trying, now we start comparing ourselves, like, what would this person want? How do I change myself? And as long as you're doing what's best for you, that's who you are. And you can be happy when you're doing the best for yourself. We don't stand up and say, I love my job. I'm a teacher. I don't make as much as others, but it fulfills me. Things like that. We're like, oh, they're really mad at me. I need to change what my desire is. And, it falls apart because we become so uncomfortable with ourselves because it's a toxic relationship. And could it be changed with good communication? But the narcissist isn't going to stick to it because of their emotional capacity of a child. I'm a teacher. I see it all the time. It's in one ear, out the other. They change for a little bit of time, then they go back to exactly what their emotional state is. So the narcissist will always go back to their emotional state. Their comfort is within their childhood, and your comfort is within your childhood, that you were probably taught to communicate through things, to compromise, to share. It's your turn, now it's his turn. And sometimes you won't always be first. You'll be second or third in line. And it starts hurting us, where that's where we feel valued and comfortable. And when we're searching for how to change this situation, when communication isn't working, it causes us to reflect on ourselves and feel like something's wrong with us. You see a lot of times children where they think that the divorce was their fault. When they start lowering our self-esteem, we kind of go back into a childlike state because we feel helpless. And, you know, we start needing them to correct the situation. They don't want to correct it. So how do we change it? You know, for any relationship to work, we have to maintain our self-esteem. And to communicate it, we kind of bow down, cower. And, you know, I had this thought about, you know, with the narcissist, they take whatever we give, they take it to the extreme, and they'll suck us dry. They'll coerce us, trick us into doing a lot of different things. So some people are submissive. That's fine. You know, there's certain dynamics, but you need to feel safe. So the narcissist, if you are submissive, they just keep seeing more and more what they can take. And it's not a partnership. You see it like with famous people. Once they get treated a certain way, they like it. They like the trips, they like the free things, they like the adoration. And that's kind of, unfortunately, when we start when our self-esteem is lowered because of the situation and us not taking a stand because we're too afraid of the outcome, whether they're going to leave, they're going to rage at us, we don't know how they're going to react. It's unpredictable, and that's where it gets toxic. You know, that the narcissist loves chaos. They have to have chaos. They have to have activities. They have to keep busy. If you think about little kids, that as long as they're busy, they're pretty content. They're not really throwing fits unless they have to share. And I see even with my classroom management, if you have everything prepared and they're ready, they know what to expect. They know what the expectations are, and they have everything laid out in front of them. It's a comfort, but then they start getting anxious. So you got to start it right away. And the narcissist, you know, sometimes, you know, they need to keep busy to counteract everything that's going on in their brain. So that's why they cheat a lot. That's why they could have certain addictions just to keep themselves busy, whether it's porn or golf, whatever it could be anything. But when it's downtime, that's when they start feeling uncomfortable. And if you don't succumb to what they need, you know, even just watching TV, that's what they want to do. That's what's going to entertain them. A lot of times they can throw a fit over that because they're mad at you for not taking the time to sit and watch TV when you're trying to get the kids to bed or helping them with their homework. And sometimes they vocalize it, sometimes they don't. So sometimes their resentment isn't expressed. And there's ways to work around that to avoid the resentment, but they resent that their life isn't perfect, and there are ups and downs, and they're impatient, and is something that's going on in their brain. But when we get devalued, we feel it, and we don't want to lose our person. We don't want to lose this fantasy image that we believed was real. So if it was a healthy, loving relationship, you'd feel more content. You'd feel more secure. You wouldn't feel like you have to change. You'd be like, my person loves me, and I want to do something nice for them. I'm going to curl my hair today. It just comes naturally to where you're going to feel good about yourself. And I don't know if any of you have ever dieted, that you start seeing progress and it feels good and it just falls into place where you keep doing it. But when you see setbacks, you feel like nothing's ever going to work, or you gained weight, and a lot of people give up at that time. That you know, it starts seeing like the end goal is out of reach. So dieters, when the end goal seems out of reach, a lot of them give up. They feel that they can't just do it. But by building up your self-esteem and maintaining your boundaries, if the person's meant to be in your life, they'll stay in your life. We compromise, and, we have to accept that if it's going to work out, we communicate the best we can and have our boundaries, see through the red flags and call them out on it. We don't call them out on it all the time. Sometimes we don't because we're unsure. We don't have all the evidence. We have the gut feeling. But where does this gut feeling come from? It's fascinating how we react to the different energies around us. Sometimes it's not even explainable. Something seems off about the people around us, maybe at a store, so we know something might happen. It helps us go into protective mode when people start arguing a little too much. It's better to remove ourselves, to not add to that energy, because then the energy can be directed towards us. And the world is getting to be a more dangerous place, that we have to be more selective on the people that we're with. So because of the narcissist, they will always take down somebody's self-esteem. And, no matter what you do. So let's say, and you could take anything. So let's say you work out and now you are 10% more towards your goal. They're going to still pick apart something. Yeah, but you still got a little cellulite on your thighs, and it just cuts down your self-esteem again, that no matter what you do, they will use it against you. And you're missing yourself. You're missing your self-confidence. You're missing realizing that it's not you. It's the situation that allows you to have no way of making it better, because the narcissist feeds off of that. They don't want to give that up. They don't want to give up the adoration of us, giving them attention, whether it's negative or positive. They don't process what we say. We use logic sometimes. They don't have the logic, and the emotions bug them. So they hear our words, but they don't take them to heart. They see it only from their perspective. They're not real good at seeing our perspective. It's okay if they don't agree. It's okay to agree to disagree, but they don't even process it. So the only part of the relationship that they have is their perspective. It's half of what things are. And, we're trying so hard to understand them that we forget to understand ourselves. And it causes us not to communicate in the right way as well. And there's going to be a downward spiral. If you try ignoring it, the abuse continues and it gets worse. If you try to address it, it gets worse. It's where they're only seeing that one side. And that's why it's toxic, because you have needs too. And you often overlook your needs to make your partner happy. And it's okay to do that sometimes, but when there's no compromise, it feels like you're not living your life. And we become isolated, are trapped. We're unfulfilled. Our love cup is just flowing towards somebody else, but we're not getting replenished. When we're replenished, when we are whole, we're overflowing. It's easy to give love. The right people will fill you back up, and you can give, pay it forward, all those kinds of things where the positive people will be drawn to you. But when you're in a low self-esteem state, people aren't really drawn to that. So get your energy back up, set your boundaries, watch out for those red flags and address them. If the person's not willing to work through things with you and to recognize how their actions affect you, whether it's that they're at fault or not at fault, but by them understanding how their actions affect you, you can come up with a solution. And the narcissist isn't willing to do that. I did a video on the mental illness and how it affects us, how it affects relationships. And I had a viewer reach out and say, is there anything wrong with me that I was ruminating for so long? And he had addressed that, yeah, I have some mental health issues. And, you know, he wanted reassurance that what he went through isn't his fault at all. And some of it is. And he knows that. He's even addressed that. So he can say it. But if I say it too, and he asked my opinion, I did give him clarification. I'm certified to teach psychology. I'm not a clinician, but it's kind of like, yeah, let's work on this. And then he's like, no, I don't need to see you anymore. I don't need to talk to you anymore. And I'm talking about through the comments and under the videos. So he just wants to bail instead of work on it. And that's where the mental illness comes in, that it's not going to get cured and they don't want to address it, even though they see it. He's like, yes, I have this. I have these problems. Because I said, you probably have some comorbidities. You got the CPTSD from a narcissistic type of relationship, which causes our brain to go a little haywire, which I've suffered from. You know, a lot of us are dealing with that kind of abuse damage to us. So there are ways to heal, but we have to first address it and not run from it. So when we're wondering if our narcissist will ever change, are we going to take our stand? Are we going to rebuild ourselves? So we need to take the focus off of the narcissists. And if they will change, they don't want to change. Just like right now, you're hoping they will change. So today we're going to change ourselves. Feel free to comment below on anything I can help you with. I do have live chats pretty much nightly, and I'd love to hear from you. Topic requests are welcome. I do one-on-ones, and lots of love to you guys. We are survivors. Let's fight this war together. Enjoy the day.